Have you ever found yourself lying there in that very first intimate moment with a man and your mind is racing? You're wondering, is he looking at my stomach? Is he judging the way my body looks in this light? Is he comparing me to other women he's been with? We've all been there. And it can feel terrifying because in that moment you feel so vulnerable. It's almost like you're under a spotlight and every little thing about you is being noticed. Every move you make is being analyzed. But here's the truth: most women don't realize men are not noticing what you think they are. See, you're obsessing over whether your hair looks perfect or whether that tiny stretch mark shows or if your lingerie matches. But for him, that's not where his attention is. What men actually notice in those first few intimate moments goes so much deeper than your body, your curves, or even your technique. And here's the beautiful part. Once you understand what he's really tuned into, you stop stressing about perfection. You stop worrying about looking flawless, and instead you start focusing on being present, being you, and creating a connection that he will never forget. Think about it. Have you ever met a woman who didn't necessarily have the perfect body by society's standards, but when she walked into a room, she had this magnetic energy that made every head turn? That's not because of her waistline. That's because of how she carries herself. That's confidence. That's presence. And men feel that energy even more intensely the very first time things get intimate. So tonight I want to flip the script for you. Instead of being trapped in your head, worried about whether he's secretly critiquing you, I'm going to tell you the 3 things men actually notice the very first time you're intimate. And I promise you, it's not what you've been stressing about. By the end of this, you're going to feel more confident, more powerful, and more irresistible in that moment than you ever have before. Because once you know what truly matters, you can stop performing and start connecting. And ladies, that's what makes him crave you, not just once, but again and again. Let's dive into the very first thing a man notices the first time you're intimate with him. And this one is a game changer: confidence. Now, I know that word gets thrown around a lot. Be confident, love yourself, own the moment. But let's be real. It's a lot easier said than done, right? Because in that moment when the clothes are coming off, when the lights might be dim, but you still feel completely exposed, confidence feels like the hardest thing to access. But here's the secret: confidence is not about having the perfect body or knowing some magic technique. It's about the energy you bring into that space. Imagine this: 2 women walk into the same room. One of them is absolutely gorgeous, model, like toned and polished from head to toe, but she's fidgeting, pulling at her dress, looking around nervously, constantly trying to hide. The other, she's not conventionally perfect. Maybe she has curves. Maybe she doesn't fit into the typical Instagram mold, but she walks in with her head high, her shoulders back, a little smile on her face that says, "I know I belong here." Which woman do you think men are drawn to? It's the second one every single time, because confidence is sexier than perfection. Now, let's bring this back to intimacy. When a man is with you for the first time, he notices how you feel about yourself. Do you shrink into yourself, covering up, apologizing with your body language? Or do you lean in, make eye contact, allow yourself to laugh, sigh, and relax into the moment? Ladies, I can promise you this: men don't sit there with a mental checklist of flaws. They're not zooming in on the little scar you hate or the stretch mark you wish wasn't there. They're reading your energy. And if your energy says, "I'm comfortable, I deserve to be here, and I'm enjoying myself," that's what makes you magnetic. Think of confidence as permission. When you give yourself permission to enjoy the moment, you're also giving him permission to let go and enjoy it with you. You set the tone. Your comfort level actually dictates his comfort level. That's how powerful your energy is. So how do you embody this confidence, especially if you don't always feel it? Start small, breathe. Instead of being trapped in your head with a million thoughts, do I look okay? Am I doing this right? What is he thinking? Focus on your senses. The warmth of his skin, the way his breath feels against your neck, the sound of his voice. Ground yourself in the moment, because presence breeds confidence. Second, playfulness. Confidence isn't about being serious all the time. It's about being willing to smile, tease, even laugh if something unexpected happens. Maybe you bump heads trying to kiss. Maybe something awkward happens. Instead of panicking, giggling it off makes you infinitely sexier. Why? Because it shows you're not fragile. You're not breaking down over imperfection. You're embracing it. Third, body language. Instead of curling up and covering yourself, lean in, touch it back. Make eye contact. Use your hands. These small actions communicate, I'm here, I'm enjoying this, and I'm not afraid of it. That is incredibly powerful. And let me leave you with this thought. Confidence is not a permanent state you magically achieve. It's a decision. In that moment, you decide, I'm going to show up, I'm going to enjoy myself, and I'm going to stop worrying about being flawless. That decision creates the energy that men cannot resist. So remember this. The first thing he notices isn't whether you're flawless. It's whether you're present. Your confidence or lack of it sets the entire tone of the experience. And if you can let yourself relax, own who you are, and allow yourself to enjoy the moment, that confidence will make you unforgettable. Now let's talk about the second thing a man notices the very first time you're intimate with him. And this one often surprises women. It's not just the physicality, it's not just your body, it's the connection. See, intimacy without connection is just friction, it's forgettable. Intimacy with connection, that's where the magic happens. That's the moment he'll play back in his mind over and over again, not because of what you did, but because of how he felt with you. Here's the truth: men are actually incredibly sensitive to whether you're with them in that moment or if you're stuck in your own head. He can feel it instantly if you're lying there worrying about how you look or performing in a way that feels robotic. He knows, maybe not consciously, but something in him feels that disconnect. But when you're really present with him, when your eyes meet his, when you match his rhythm, when you respond in a way that says, I'm here with you, not just next to you, that's when the experience transforms from physical to emotional. And men crave that more than they'll ever admit. Think of it like dancing. Imagine you're dancing with someone who's technically perfect. They know all the steps. They never miss a beat. But their eyes are on the floor, their mind is somewhere else, and you don't feel any spark. Now imagine someone who isn't perfect with the steps, but their eyes are locked on yours. They're smiling, they're tuned into your movements, and you feel like you're creating something together. Which one do you remember? Which one makes your heart race? That's exactly how intimacy works. So what does connection actually look like in those moments? This is one of the simplest yet most powerful tools you have. Looking into his eyes during intimacy tells him, I'm not just here for the physical, I'm here with you. And trust me, it will send shivers down his spine. Anyone can touch someone, but when your touch lingers, when your hands explore with curiosity, when you're not rushing but actually savoring him, that's connection. It tells him he's not just a body, he's someone you want to experience fully. If he's slow, you slow down. If he's playful, you respond with playfulness. It's not about being submissive or dominant. It's about being attuned. This creates a rhythm that feels natural, like you're speaking a secret language only the two of you understand. This doesn't mean you need to narrate the whole experience. But simple words, little sounds, even soft laughter, those things signal that you're in it. Silence born of nervousness can create distance, but small affirmations draw him closer. Now, here's something important: connection doesn't mean perfection. You don't have to put on a show or pretend you're in some Hollywood movie scene. In fact, the less you perform and the more real you are, the more intoxicating it becomes. And ladies, this is where you have a unique power. When you choose to be present, when you let yourself drop the performance and connect, you give him an experience he can't find with anyone else. Why? Because very few people actually do this. Most are too stuck in their heads, worried about looking good instead of feeling good. Men might not always articulate it, but they walk away from that moment thinking, there was something different about her. That difference, it's connection. So if you take nothing else from this, take this. Your level of connection matters more than the position you choose, the lingerie you wear, or the tricks you think you need to pull off. The intimacy he remembers, the intimacy that makes him crave you again, comes down to how much you are with him, not just in the room, but in your eyes, your touch, your presence. That's what he notices. That's what makes the difference between a night he forgets and a night he never stops thinking about. When a man is with you for the very first time, one of the biggest things he notices, often without even realizing it, is how you respond to him. And I don't just mean physically, I mean emotionally, energetically. The whole package of how you react to what he's giving. Think about it for a second. Imagine you've planned something special for someone, you've put effort in, you've thought it through, and when you finally show it to them, they just sit there with a blank face. No smile, no spark, no reaction. You'd instantly feel deflated, right? Now flip that around. If they light up, if they laugh, if they show you that they're genuinely enjoying what you've given them, suddenly all of your effort feels worth it. That's exactly what it's like for men in those intimate moments. He wants to know if what he's doing is landing, not because he needs validation for his ego, but because your response tells him that this isn't just about him. It's a shared experience. When you smile, when you sigh, when you lean into him or touch him back, those little responses are like fuel. They tell him, I'm not just here, I'm with you. I'm enjoying this too. And that's incredibly attractive. What men notice isn't how loud or dramatic you are, it's how authentic you are. If something feels good, let your body react. If you like something, show it. You don't need to fake a thing, because the truth is most men can feel when you're pretending, and nothing kills intimacy faster than that. What makes you unforgettable is honesty in your reactions, the way your breath changes when you're turned on, the way your hands move without you even thinking, the softness in your eyes when you feel safe. All of those are signals that you're truly present, and he notices every single one of them. It's the little details that drive him crazy in the best way. The way you tilt your head when he kisses your neck, the way your body naturally leans closer instead of pulling back, the way your laugh slips out when something unexpected happens. These are the moments that make intimacy feel real and memorable, and they all come from allowing yourself to respond freely instead of being stuck in your head, worrying about how you look or whether you're doing things the right way. Remember, intimacy is not a performance. It's not about putting on a show or acting like you've memorized some script from a movie. The most powerful thing you can do is to let your body and your heart speak for you in that moment. Men don't want a perfect performance. They want a woman who is truly engaged. When you respond, you also create feedback for him. It tells him without words what feels good, what brings you closer, what excites you. That's how he learns you, not just physically, but emotionally. And the more he feels that, the more he invests himself into you. Your responses teach him how to give more, how to connect deeper, and how to please you better. And here's the beautiful irony: when you stop worrying about pleasing him and instead focus on honestly responding to what feels good for you, that's when he feels most satisfied, because your joy, your pleasure, your laughter, your sighs, your warmth, those things tell him he's made an impact. That's what makes him think, I want to come back to her. I want to experience that again. So don't underestimate the power of your responses. He's paying attention, not to whether your body looks like a magazine cover, not to whether you're perfect in every move, but to whether you're present, whether you're enjoying, and whether you're letting yourself respond. That's what creates intimacy that lingers long after the moment is over. That's what makes him crave you, not because of what you did, but because of how you felt with him. One of the most underrated things a man notices the very first time you're intimate is your playfulness. And I know when most women think about intimacy, they think about being sexy, being desirable, being alluring. But playfulness, that's the part that most people overlook, and yet it's the thing that can turn an ordinary encounter into something unforgettable. Here's why. Intimacy carries a lot of pressure. Both people are nervous. Both people are secretly wondering, am I good enough? Do they like what I'm doing? Are they going to compare me to someone else? Even men who like to act confident feel that same anxiety. They want to impress you. They want to be remembered. They don't want to mess it up. So imagine what happens when, instead of letting that pressure dominate the moment, you bring lightness into it. Suddenly, the whole experience shifts from being something stressful into something fun, and he associates you with that freedom. Playfulness can show up in the simplest ways. Maybe you tease him with a smile before he kisses you. Maybe you laugh when something clumsy happens, because let's face it, intimacy isn't always smooth and perfect like in the movies. Sheets get tangled, someone's elbow ends up in the wrong place, a silly sound escapes, and in those moments you have a choice. Either you freeze up and make it awkward, or you lean into it and laugh. When you laugh, when you make it playful, you release the tension for both of you. And that moment of laughter can actually make him feel closer to you than anything else. Another part of playfulness is curiosity. Instead of treating intimacy like a performance where you have to do everything right, approach it like an adventure. Touch him like you're exploring. Kiss him like you're discovering something new. Ask him what he likes in a cheeky, teasing way. That curiosity makes him feel special, Like you're not just running through a script. You're truly interested in him. And that's incredibly sexy. Men notice when a woman can make intimacy lighthearted because it shows confidence. It shows you're not fragile. You're not trapped in your head worrying about perfection. You're actually enjoying yourself. And when you're enjoying yourself, he feels free to enjoy himself too. Think of it this way. Have you ever been around someone who's so serious all the time that you feel like you have to walk on eggshells? It's exhausting. But when you're around someone playful, you feel alive, relaxed, comfortable being yourself. Intimacy works the same way. Playfulness makes him drop his guard. It makes him stop performing and start connecting. And here's the part that will really surprise you. Playfulness is one of the strongest tools you have to build emotional intimacy. When he feels that he can laugh with you in the most vulnerable moment, he subconsciously thinks, this is someone I can trust. This is someone I want more of. Because not only did you make him feel desired, you also made him feel comfortable in his own skin. So yes, men notice the way you touch, the way you move, the way you look at them. But underneath all of that, they notice whether the moment feels fun, whether it feels alive, whether you made it something worth remembering. And if you can bring that playful energy into the first time you're intimate, you won't just stand out. You'll be unforgettable. There's one last thing a man notices the very first time you're intimate. And honestly, it might be the most powerful of all. He notices how safe he feels with you. Now, when we talk about safety, most women immediately think of physical safety or protection. But in intimacy, what men are really tuned into is emotional safety, that deeper feeling of, can I let go here? Can I be myself without being judged, without being laughed at, without being made to feel less than? Men may walk around acting tough, confident, and even cocky, but the truth is they carry just as many insecurities as women do. The difference is they rarely admit it. They worry about whether they're enough. They worry about whether they're doing it right. They worry about whether you'll see their flaws and lose attraction. They may never say those things out loud, but they feel them. And in that very first intimate moment, they're paying close attention to how you make them feel. Do you make him feel like he's in a competition, like you're silently comparing him to someone else? Do you make him feel like he has to perform perfectly to keep your interest? Or do you make him feel like he's enough? Like you're genuinely happy to be there with him, not some fantasy version of him, but the real man in front of you. When a man feels emotionally safe with you, everything changes. He lets his guard down. He stops trying to impress and instead focuses on connecting. He's more affectionate, more giving, more invested in making it amazing for you. Why? Because he doesn't feel like he's being tested. He feels accepted. And acceptance is the sexiest gift you can give him. That doesn't mean you lower your standards or pretend to enjoy something you don't. Safety doesn't come from faking. It comes from creating an atmosphere of honesty, warmth, and encouragement. It's in the way you respond to him, the way you let him know that even if something isn't perfect, you're still enjoying the moment. It's in the way you laugh off awkwardness instead of turning it into rejection. It's in the softness of your voice, the warmth of your touch, the way you show him that you're there for the connection, not a performance. Think about it. If he feels like one mistake, one awkward move, one imperfect second is going to ruin everything, he'll stay in his head, he'll hold back. But if he feels like you're there with him, that you want him, that you're enjoying him exactly as he is, he'll give you more of himself than you thought possible. And ladies, here's the thing: when a man feels safe with you, he becomes addicted to you. Because the truth is, most men don't get to feel that kind of safety often. They live in a world where they have to prove themselves constantly, at work, in society, even in dating. If you can be the one place where he doesn't have to prove, where he just gets to be, that's the place he'll want to come back to over and over again. So yes, men notice your confidence, your connection, your responses, your playfulness. But more than anything, they notice how you make them feel. If the first time you're intimate, he walks away thinking, with her, I feel safe. With her, I don't have to pretend. With her, I can just be me. Then you've done more than attract him. You've touched him, and that, more than anything else, is what makes intimacy unforgettable. Before we wrap up, let's pause for a moment and reflect on everything we've uncovered together. Men might act tough, confident, and even a little mysterious at times, but the truth is they carry secrets they desperately want you to understand. These aren't just surface-level desires or fleeting curiosities. They're powerful, emotional truths that, when unlocked, can transform your relationship into something unforgettable. Think about it. How different would your connection feel if you could tap into the very things he craves but rarely says out loud? What if you became the woman who not only listens to his words but also hears the emotions behind them? That's when attraction turns into loyalty. That's when passion turns into deep, unshakable love. And remember, this isn't about tricks, games, or manipulation. It's about understanding connection and creating an intimacy so strong that he'll never feel the need to look elsewhere. When you embrace his hidden needs, you don't just win his heart for a night, you win his soul for a lifetime. So here's my challenge for you. Don't just watch this video and forget it. Take one of these secrets and use it today. See how he responds, watch how he opens up, and notice the spark it brings into your relationship. If this video helped you, make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss the next secret to unlocking his heart. Your journey to irresistible love starts right here.